Hello, welcome to German Cooks. I'm Chris, this is my daughter Erica. Today we're going to be making meatloaf stuffed with cheese and wrapped in bacon. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Alright, thank you. Okay, today we're going to be using, for the meat mixture, garlic, jalapenos, and an onion. You don't have to have the jalapenos, I just like it a little bit spicy. And I think my daughter does too. So all we're going to do is we're going to crush these, chop them up fine. We'll roll these, get everything loosened up inside. We'll cut those up and we'll cut the onion up. So first thing we're going to do is the jalapenos. Saute those. Okay, so let's wipe the table off, because cross-contamination is the key. If you have cross-contamination with vegetables and your meat products or multiple different vegetables, that's what causes salmonella. That's the main reason that you will get salmonella or E. coli or anything like that, is cross-contamination. So what we're going to do is take the onion, and chop off the top. You want to relieve the root. If you leave the root, it does not sweat as much, which causes the tearing. So you're going to cut the skin off, peel it off. And I'm using just a yellow onion. Has more pungent, it's more pungent, more flavorful. I do like using reds a lot, but for this, I'm just going to use a yellow. The white ones are more sweet. They're a lot more mild, but so I'm going to cut it in half, and we're going to dice it. You just want to cut in, like so. You want to do that one?
Sure.
Just, knife seems dull. You do not want a dull knife. Dull knives will actually hurt you a lot more than a sharper knife. Try that one.
Okay.
because with a dull knife you're
Oh, that's lovely.
working harder, and then when you slip, what happens is it jabs in more, cuts deeper, whatnot. So now that we cut it this way, we're just going to slice it this way, but make sure you don't go all the way through. Not all the way through. Not all the way through. No, you don't want to go all the way through this way. You just want to cut like to here.
Okay.
Because then you want it into, so you turn it like so, turn it, and then just make slices and it's diced.
Wow.
And then you have just a little bit of the root left, and it goes throw it away. And if any of the bigger pieces at the root that you didn't get through, just cut them up a little bit smaller, like so. And I'm making my daughter cry. Hers are actually a lot nicer and smaller than mine, which I'm proud of. Alright, now what you're going to do is you're going to flip it up like this. Come on, pay attention.
I'm trying. My eyes are watering.
And cut there. Cut there. And you have just a little bit left. Throw it away. So now these little pieces you want to cut up. I'll help her out. She has weak eyes. Okay, now also what helps is if you have your onions cold. The colder they are, not frozen, because when you freeze an onion, the juices inside crystallizes and it just gets mushy. You don't want to freeze produce. But if you put it in the refrigerator for like an hour beforehand, it does not sweat nearly as much. Also, if you do have a problem, what you want to do is cold water around the eyes. So, we're just going to put this in with the jalapenos. And you cannot have animals, like especially dogs, get onions. It will it'll cause problems. It could kill them if they have too much onion. So you just want to make sure that if you do have animals, don't drop the stuff on the floor. Because you drop one piece and you think you can't find it, your dogs definitely will. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. Alright, well, we cleaned it up, and now we're going to do some garlic. So with the garlic, I'm going to use, what is that, 7 cloves of garlic. And I'd already broken up. Crush. And skin comes off. Bam! Sorry, that's trademark. Yeah, you just crush it. Crush it. So we could show that anybody can do it.
Oops.
That's not crushing it. Crush that
I
shit.
crushed it. What, do you need me to crush it more?
If you want to.
I think it's good.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Come on. Keep crushing.
You want me to do more?
There's the garlic. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to saute the onions, the peppers together, mix it with the garlic, saute that all up. I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to use a cast iron skillet. That's what I'm going to be frying everything in. It is obviously not on because, yes. Turn it on. Click, click, click. And you want to warm it up first before you put your oil in there. You know, I'm not obviously touching the pan. Okay. Ooh, yeah, let's get in there. All right. Put a little bit of, I got extra virgin olive oil. And you can tell when it's going to be warm enough, it starts rippling. The oil starts rippling and it spreads out a lot faster. And then not hot enough yet. Just put in a couple pieces just to see how hot it is. It should start sizzling right away. And I'm using cast iron because I love cooking with cast iron. Also, I'm going to be cooking the meatloaf in the cast iron. Okay, now you can start hearing that sizzle. Just dump it in. There we go. Dump it all in there. Then we'll turn it down to a medium heat. Bigger pieces in there, but that's fine. I'm not a professional and I don't play one on TV. So, I'm going to have my daughter keep stirring that. Make sure nothing burns. Doesn't get too sticky. Now, it's all to the point, the consistency I want it. It's a nice saute. So, turn that off, and then we'll put it back into the glass bowl and set it aside. I want to cool it down for a little bit, and then we'll get into the hamburger. Alright, I have 80 chuck, so it's 80% meat and 20% fat, and I'm just gonna break it up into my bowl. And if the bowl's not big enough, I'll bring it back out. Looks like it's not going to be big enough. Alright. Black pepper. I like the fresh ground. I'm using the European blend, which has the black and the white peppercorns in it. And I'm going to use some sea salt. Okay. We're just going to mix this up. Take my wedding band off because I don't want to get it stuck in there, because that would be a little bit too much texture. There it goes on the floor. So, just gonna get that seasoning all in there. And you could add more or less, whatever your taste is. And then going to do is add the peppers and onions. And you want to cook them first, like I did earlier, because they're not going to cook right when it gets inside. And you're just going to have raw peppers, raw onions while you're eating your meatloaf. And I let the peppers and onions cool down a little bit. Alright, get that mixed up inside there. And if you're squeamish, you could use gloves and all that, or a mixer, but I don't have one of those. So if you guys ever want to donate anything to German Cooks, a mixer would be great. And I'm not particular about the color. Alright, let me wash up my hands. We're going to put a couple more ingredients in there, and I'll show you in just a second. Okay, now I'm going to put a couple eggs in there and breadcrumbs, and I'm just going to put it into side. I've got 2 eggs. Bam. And then I'm going to mix this up. Oh yeah. Get those yolks all going. Oh, oh, the sound is just, well, it's interesting. And then I'm going to have Erica, who hasn't been doing much. She's been standing here as a supporter. She's going to put breadcrumbs in. Just shake them in all over the place. Alright. And then I'm going to mix it up more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Oh, that's too much. No. Alright. Just mix this up. And you want it somewhat tacky. Alright. Just a little bit more, not by much. And you don't want to really overmix, because then it's going to get heavy. So after this, okay. Alright, that's good. It comes out like that. So you know it's going to stick together. It's not going to fall apart while you're baking it, which the bacon should hold it together anyway. But then we're going to put this in the bacon, and we're going to stuff it with cheese. And for that, I have pepper jack cheese today. So, alright. Okay, I'm going to make the weave for the meatloaf. And what you're just going to do is line up pieces. I get the thick sliced bacon. It's much easier to do this with. Paper, and that's so it's easily transferable to the meat, and I could wrap it up a lot nicer and neater. So there's that one, and I do have a few slices left of each, and that's gonna be the middle weave on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another piece of parchment over there, and I'm going to set it to the side and get ready for the mix. So it's a nice basket weave. All right. Okay, so I have the bacon. Take that meat. Make sure you get all. So now it's all nicely rolled up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our frying pan, same one that we used for the sauteing, and I did not take anything out of there. Then we're going to hope this fits in there. If not, we'll make it fit. Like I said, we'll make that fit. All right. So we have that. Could use a bigger frying pan, but this is the biggest one I have, or less meat. And that's what I'm gonna cook in the oven. I'm gonna put it in the oven for about 45 minutes until the internal temperature is at 165. So, and I'm putting it in a 350-degree oven, already preheated. Okay, so here's the meatloaf when it came out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a rack and let it rest for about another 10 minutes just to get everything back in. And I don't want to keep it cooking inside the bacon grease juice. It's juice. We know it's juice. Bacon has juice. It's not grease. It's good for you. Alright, I had let it sit on a rack for about 15 minutes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it off the rack. We're going to cut it open and see what it looks like inside. Alright, thank you for watching Sherman Cooks with Erica and I. We really appreciate it. Today we made a stuffed meatloaf, bacon wrapped, stuffed with cheese, and jalapenos and onions. Like, share, and I really appreciate all the help that I've had. My barking dog, my daughter, my daughter's boyfriend, who has been the nice cameraman, pushing the buttons, and especially my wife, who puts up with the smell of my cooking, that she doesn't care for the garlic and the jalapenos, but I really appreciate all the support that she's given to me and my passion, which is cooking. Thank you very much. Like I said, like, share, and get a hot dog. Get a wiener dog. Thank you.